Dude, I also watched, just finished season 2 of The Boys. I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast anyway. No spoilers, by the way. That fucking series is so fucking good. If you don't have Amazon Prime, get it. And then, when you do have Amazon Prime, sub to me on Twitch. It's fucking free, and I get money. It doesn't cost you anything if you have a Prime sub. That's not what I'm saying. I just want you guys to fucking watch The Boys. It's incredible. It's a series based on a comic book series called The Boys, by my favorite ever comic book author, Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis is like, he comes from like a working class background, and his stuff is filthy, gory, full of swear words, always saying cunt. His characters are terrible people, and he's created The Boys, which is like, it's kind of like, what if superheroes were in the real world? But it's also a little bit of a satire of America in general. He's not American, and his stuff is very critical of America all the time. So I'm gonna, as someone who read the comics and shit, I think that going into it, if you know these few things, it makes the series so much better. So the series is a criticism of superhero comics and the superhero genre and superhero movies. It's also a satire of them, but it's also, if you watch it, it becomes more and more clear that The Boys is like a really big critique on the American military, and how if, we did create super soldiers, it wouldn't be, or if superheroes were real, and we had the ability to train them and have them be born or whatever, they wouldn't actually stop crime. They would just be commercialized exactly like celebrities and superhero movies are today, right? If there was this guy that could fly and shoot laser beams out of his eyes and all this kind of stuff, he probably wouldn't be out there every fucking day saving people for no reasons, especially if there's no like supervillains. There's no like, at this point anyway, there's no aliens or there's no monsters. It's just super-powered people in the real world, and they're kind of like pitched to the populace as these people that are helping them and saving them and are superheroes, but they're actually, in reality, not doing anything. They're just being marketed as such to sell merch, to sell tickets to movies about them, sell books and all that kind of bullshit. They're just like celebrities with powers that are owned by a corporation that whores them out for money, basically. And it's super, super interesting, and it's like a critique on American culture. And then, of course, the next logical conclusion, when you have these superpowered individuals, is how the fuck can we get these cunts into the military, into war, into dominating the world, basically. And it slowly becomes this critique of the American military and American culture and I suppose like extreme capitalism as well, which is really, really interesting and such a it's done in a way that's not forced at all. And if you watch it, there are like characters in there, not all of them, but there are characters in there that are semi based on people that are like famous today. Like in season 2, there's a female politician that's almost certainly like a send-up of AOC. There's elements of Homelander, the main superhero, or the main superhero guy that seem to be a little bit Trumpy, especially more so in season 2. But it's done in a way that's not cringe, because when people are, we're gonna fucking parody Trump's campaign and fan base, it's always fucking cringe. But this is done in a really nice way that's not forceful or anything. It's like, it's not telling you to think anything, it's just making fun of everything, which is kind of the comic book, the Garth Ennis, he's not American, he's making fun of it, and the main character, Butcher, this is also going to make it a lot better for you, right? The main character, Butcher, is supposed to be like a working class English guy in the comics, right? So he says cunt, he's filthy, he's a bad dude, he's real tough. But here's the thing, he's played by an Australian guy. So I think episode 1 and 2, he does the English Cockney working class accent really well. And then in subsequent episodes, it just starts to slip. And he says cunt all the time in a really Australian way. So I, in my own head, have just kind of made the guy Australian, like he is in real life. And I go, oh, this cunt's fucking Australian. And it's made the viewing experience so much better, because he's out there in America with all these fucking corporate cunts, calling them corporate cunts. And it's great. It's really good. It reminded me of me when I was there. Him just calling people cunts or saying good cunt or whatever, or saying cunt in a positive way, and all of these people getting incredibly offended and him going, what? It's a good thing. Reminded me of when I was in fucking America. It's such a good fucking series. And season 2, so much better than the first one. Where it ended, like, fucking blew my mind. And if you've seen it, that's a very funny joke.